Good morning, class. This week we're going to talk about communication between businesses and consumers. That's where we're going to start, and then we're going to do a little business research as part B. So, what I want you to do, let's take a peek. Hang on. I want you to read chapter 1 in Likeable Social Media, and this assignment will be due by Thursday. So I want you to do some research and check out some online reviews for businesses you're familiar with. Look for some positive ones and some negative ones. And um, there's a lot of places you can check them out. Yelp, Google, Facebook, and many other social media platforms have reviews as options as well. Um, and then I want you to write a post on your blog, and it'll be titled Week 2, Part A, Business and Consumer Communication and Reviews. So I want you to write in paragraph form, again, not like a question and answer form, and these are prompts I want you to discuss in your 5 or more paragraph post. So the older you are, the more you'll have noticed communication between businesses and consumers has changed over the years. It used to be businesses would have advertising and they kind of send it out in a general direction because they didn't know who's going to be looking, really. I mean, you kind of refine it by being in, maybe on the certain television shows that might appeal for the age of audience you're looking for, or into a magazine that fits in there. And then talk about that. How did people contact the business if they have a problem? I remember when I was a little kid, I'm pretty old, my mom bought a loaf of bread, and there was definitely a piece of machinery in the bread. She usually made her own bread, so it was kind of weird that she bought bread, and here it came this big, maybe a chunk of could have been a chunk of a mop or something, I don't know, but it definitely was not bread stuff. So she had to send a letter to the business and tell them what happened. And so they sent her coupons to buy more bread, which we didn't do, because if you got a big chunk of something weird in your bread, you're not really, if you're me, I wouldn't want to try it again. Might be in there again. Maybe that's how they serve their bread. So she went back to making bread, which was fine because she made great bread. So, but how do people communicate now? If they have a problem, they can write a review. They can write on social media and just do some negative comment or positive comment. Hey, I love it. This is great. I'm glad you're here. Writing a response to, oh, I like the post you just made. That looks great. Whatever. People communicate more. In a lot of ways, you're sort of, as the consumer, you're sort of anonymous. So you can write negative reviews and rant and rage and really give the people a hard time. And typically, people will write more negative reviews than they do positive reviews, which is unfortunate because then you go, oh, wow, my favorite business is not there anymore. Maybe if you had written some positive reviews, they'd still be there. And instead, when you get a negative review, I know as a business, it's hard to compete with sometimes. Sometimes you can learn something because they give you some ideas on what you did wrong and ideas on how to fix it. Maybe you need to, offer some of this and that, or maybe you need to check your servers to see if they're doing a better job and really paying attention and things like that. Or the music's too loud, the music's not loud enough, you don't have the kind that we like, blah, blah, blah. So people can make comments and, if they offer helpful suggestions on improvement, then a negative review is helpful. But if they just rant saying, rah, 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 I hated this, even though, I know we in the past when we were first open, Yelp asked if they could bring a load of their top people. And so we said, sure. Well, they brought people that didn't drink craft beer. Why would they come? Why would they sign up to do something like that? And most of them were okay. They wrote about, we had a nice atmosphere and this and that. But some person wrote, I don't drink craft beer. It's not something I do. So I'm giving them a 3. And to me, That seemed kind of unfair. Why are you reviewing if that's not something you do, something you like? That's all we could serve was our beer that we made. So that review stuck with us for, in my mind, for a long time, and I had to think of ways to work around it. And at that time, we couldn't offer sodas or water or anything. I mean, you could give them a glass of water, tap water, but you couldn't have, bottles of water. Or they didn't let us have soda because that's kind of like stepping into food and things like that. But finally, they changed some of those rules. And so now we offer sodas and teas, and kombucha, non-alcoholic, all kinds of things. So again, I learned something from that and I worked with it over the years. But that negative review just clung there. And that's the other thing that drives me crazy. The negative reviews. Okay, I don't want to see a negative review that's 5 years old. If they wrote it in the last few months, it's, pertinent. If it's something from long ago, if they haven't fixed it yet, they're going to fix it now. So when we travel, I like to look at reviews and see what's good. So for restaurants and stuff. So you kind of read a few things. This sounds good. This sounds like not so great, and then you choose someplace to eat. And sometimes it's been great. And sometimes you're like, wow, what were those people thinking when they wrote that review? So after you write your discussion about how you see communication between business and consumers, I want you to leave some positive comments on 2 or 3 of your favorite businesses. And let me know what you left the positive review was about and what you wrote, So give that an additional blog post and call it week 2 positive comments. And feel kind to those little businesses that you go to that you love and you want them to be there. So help them out. Give them a little pat on the back.